Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Thanks for stopping by. As you can see from the thumbnail, today's all about super witches. Got a couple of variations that I want to talk through today. I used some of these attacks in Legend League, and a good friend of mine, Exit Climbing, went out into war as part of Monster Within and did some too. First one we're going to look at is the ones that I used, and that's really just sort of 4 super witches, some zap spells, and then you use your Warden Walk. Exit did sound slightly different. He took super witches and super wizards. I have done a video on this before, but it was great to see it used in war. But let's jump straight in and see what the attack's all about. Almost all of the super witch attacks that I was seeing were against the anti 3-star bases. You know, the ones where the town hall's pretty easily accessible from the outside of the base. So what I wanted to show from the Legends attacks were more centralized town halls, just show these super witches can work on these as well. Same strategy as you would with any other super witch attack really. Get your Warden Walk down nice and early. Don't want that to be too long because super witches are ridiculously slow. Only take 5 zap spells on this one because I'm not looking to get rid of a scatter. Ideally I just want to get rid of an Inferno and maybe a few of the other buildings around it, which is exactly what I've done here. Super Wall Breaker then to get them access in. I bring a Siege Barracks for these attacks because you don't have that many spaces left after the super witches for funneling troops, so Siege Barracks does a good job of funneling for them. And then it's all about getting your super witches and your heroes into the core of the base, so jump spell down gets them access right into the eagle. You don't need to use the Warden's ability very early in these attacks. It's the scatter shot that tends to do a lot of damage, so because the scatter shot's relatively close to where the entry is, I do use the Warden ability relatively early. You don't need it for the Town Hall Blast, the super witches will survive that. Once they're in the core, and as long as you get a decent healer switch, they'll survive pretty much anything. Hogs from the Siege Barracks are nice to move around the side of the base and take out some defenses for you. They'll tank for the Royal Champion as well. I do get quite a fortunate split on this one. My Queen decides to walk around behind the Royal Champion, so yeah, while the Royal Champion does start to take some damage from the enemy King, my Queen does step up, help her take him out, and then she survives a little bit longer towards that wizard tower. But look in the core of the base, healers are on the super witches, wardens with them, big boys out in front doing all the tanking. So I've still got 1, 2, 3 super witches out of the 4 still alive. Cleanup now starting to come down on the right hand side. At this point I knew this was going to be a triple. There's just not enough damage left up on this base to take out those 3 super witches with the healers intact. Plus I've still got my Queen's ability and some cleanup troops. So it's just a matter of making sure that my Queen gets around beside those super witches and helps them take out some of these defenses. The big challenge with this attack is always going to be time. I can see it's ticking away very, very quickly on me, and there's still 50% of the base to get through. But look, those big boys out in front. Warden being an absolute legend, tanking everything for them. And the super witches and the Queen just making their way around, taking everything out. And because those zaps in that quake already caused some damage to those buildings that they're now coming up against on the right hand side, doesn't take much to get rid of those. So really effective attack. Let's have a look at the next one and see what kind of base we've got coming up next. And it's a ring base. So you don't normally see super witch attacks on ring bases, and honestly it wouldn't be my first choice of army for these kind of bases. I'd probably do a Chinese smash on it or something, or a hybrid. But on this occasion I had super witches trained in Legends and I was going to make sure I got something. So like the other one, start off with a nice early Warden Walk, cutting out one of those funnel on the left hand side. Got a little wizard down at 6 o'clock, just try and start getting through that wall because I only have 1 wall breaker, 1 super wall breaker, and I want to get that into the base. So wizard will do a job down there. Just means my Warden Walk's going to be a little bit longer than usual, but that's alright. I am going to clear most of the defenses that are in front of him with his zaps and the quakes now, so that's pretty much everything down apart from the Expo, but the Warden will take that out. And then if you look down at 6 o'clock, as long as I can get those storages taken out before the main kill squad goes down, that gives me a nice clear path into the base and then around through past the Eagle. Probably won't get anything into the Town Hall, but I've got my Royal Champion as backup. So yeah, here we go. Siege Barracks down to 6, P.E.K.K.A. and Wizards to take out those storages, and then that forces the King, the big boys and the Witch straight in. Those big boys absolutely wreck the enemy queen. Jump everything into the next layer. I thought I'd get lucky here and get something moved to the town hall, but there's just too many defenses left up on the right hand side, so it wasn't going to happen. Warden ability early. I've been doing loads and loads of Inferno Drag Skelly attacks recently, so I think I'm pre-programmed for early Warden abilities. Didn't need it then. Could have used it a bit closer to the scatter shots, but doesn't matter. Still got loads of troops moving around. Those single Infernos, they're targeting the king and the big boys, so they're not really going to get much value against my troops. Royal Champion comes in then. She's going to trigger their tornado trap, but still got loads of health and still going to take out the town hall for me. Hogs and the siege barracks are doing an absolutely stunning job moving around, taking out defenses, while my queen takes out the enemy CC Electro Dragon. And then at this point of the raid, yeah, my Royal Champion's gone down. I've got some cleanup on the outside, little pack of wizards moving around. But if you look, I've still got all 4 super witches left up. That one healer just trying to keep them alive, so targeting the 2 super witches right in front of her. I'm going to move off now and go for the other 2 because they're taking some damage. But with everything's left up in the base, the only worry really is the scatter shot, but with 4 super witches coming up against it, it's not really going to be a problem at all. I do like this attack strategy. I think the only flaw to it is if you don't get a decent healer switch onto your super witches, they can go down relatively quickly. You do need those healers just to keep them alive through the bulk of the base. But the next one's a little bit special. Exit saw a video I did on Super Wee Wee, and he's done a variation of that and used it in some war attacks. Let's have a look. So here we have a more typical anti 3-star base. This is the kind of base you'd normally see Super Witch attacks on. Exit's going to zap quake out this 6 o'clock compartment, get rid of the Inferno, bomb tower and the cannon. So the Warden walk down to 6. That's going to take out everything else that he needs to get rid of down there for a nice funnel into the town hall. Warden walk in this one again doesn't need to be very long, just needs to clear out enough so that his super witches walk north. Is going to have to get rid of that cannon on the left hand side, doesn't want his warden to get too far over towards that, so yeah, the loon is going to support there. Nice work. And then up at 3 o'clock he's going to be able to get his king and his siege barracks down. They're going to cut the funnel up there, and then his super witches and queen are going to have no problem moving in to the core of this base. He does wait for the first round of eagle shots to come down and his super witches to get slightly further ahead before he drops his super wizards. He doesn't want them taken out too early. The one flaw in this strategy is you do have to use the warden ability relatively early just to protect the super wizards close to the town hall. So Exit does that exactly there. Does miss a couple of the super wizards, but that's okay. He's got the jump into the core now. He's still got all of his super witches up. Doesn't have a poison for the CC. Super minions not going to do much work to his troops really. With those healers on the super witches, like I said previously, they can take out most things. Royal Champion in from 12 o'clock to take out that top compartment. She's going to have to go to her ability to get rid of that Inferno Tower, and the Barbarians are going to support her and just take it out before she loses any more health. Double scatter shot onto the super witches in the core. As long as those healers are there, they're absolutely fine. Big boys are going to take a lot of the damage, so he'll lose a lot of those, but they will beat through the wall and support his super witches getting through. And then he gets a nice little split. Super witches moving down to the scatter shot in the south, queen moving round to the north. She's going to have to go to her ability to stop the single Inferno from taking her out. But then, while that single Inferno's tied up getting rid of the big boys, she and her archers will beat through that wall, sneak in, and she'll take that Inferno Tower down, no problem at all. And that's it. 2.5 minutes. Base is completely destroyed, and he's got loads of troops left up. So, Super Wizards, nice little addition. And another anti-3-star base on this one. Exit's going to do something a little different though. He's got 6 zaps this time because he wants to take out one of those scatter shots. So you can guess, he's got his Warden Walk coming down at 3 o'clock. He wants that scatter shot in that little compartment taken out completely. So rotates his zaps around the scatter shot and the quake and takes out pretty much everything in there. Warden's then going to take out the rest of it. Not an obvious entry on this one. He's going to move his troops up and around towards 12 o'clock. So Queen comes down. One healer for her. A little bit of a boo-boo here. She does get really close to the Grand Warden statue before he gets his Super Witches in there, so Queen is going to go to ability early, but that's okay. He's got his King and Siege Barracks. They're coming down at 12 o'clock. Going to cut a nice little funnel, and they find the Tesla farm, so that's brilliant. Super Wizards moving down now at 12:30, and they're just taking out loads of defenses right in front of him. And at this stage, he's got all of his Super Witches, his Queen, and his Super Wizards, plus the Warden moving into the Town Hall. Jump Spell connects Town Hall and Scatter Shot in the core. Warden's ability protects everything through the Scatter Blasts, and the Super Wizards move in. They take it out, so that's completely wrecked. And the Town Hall goes down to the big boys and some Super Wizards too. Got some loons coming in at 8 o'clock. They're just going to snipe off those outline defences because there's Royal Champions moving through the core of the base now. He wants to keep her right in the middle there. His Queen's split off with a Super Witch, and they've taken out the Multi-Inferno, which is awesome. All that's left up now is this single and the Eagle, but Super Wizards move through. There's nothing touching them, so they get rid of the Eagle nice and quick. Royal Champ's going to get rid of that Expo for him as well, and then his Queen's going to move in while the Royal Champ's tanking the single, and she'll take that down. And then at this point, with his CC trip still up, and he's got 2 Super Witches on the outside and 1 in the core, plus his 2 Super Wizards, base is absolutely wrecked. And this, it's not even a time thing with this attack. With Super Witches on their own, you're probably pushing for near the 3-minute mark, with the Super Wizards moving around behind them to support. Normally come in around 2 or 2.5 minutes. Exited 2 of these in this war. Absolutely destroyed both bases. Not easy bases to hit either, so fantastic job, Exit. Thanks for inviting me over to catch the replays. Looking forward to catching some more from you and the guys at Monster Within. And guys, that is it for another video. If you did enjoy it today, don't forget, like, subscribe, turn on notifications, and I'll be back very soon with more Clash of Clans from Bad Stag Gaming.